And we're back. Good morning from the office. North Georgia's only live online morning show. It's Tuesday morning. I'm here with George. We're in our state and national segment. George, how you doing?
Well, I couldn't be better. Thank you very much for asking. Had a great 3-day weekend. It was Memorial Day weekend. Flew my flags. Attended the memorial service at the LJ Bridge. Well attended. It was well attended. There was a couple hundred people there. Sun came up, so it promised to be a nice hot day, and that was true. And
It was a hot day.
It was, and I saw you running around. You know, I should remind you that you shouldn't wear white pants when you have little pasty white legs.
Yeah, thanks, George. Lisa came home and told me they sent the message. You sent the message.
Well,
I got the message.
but
I got the message yesterday, George.
But anyway, you look comfortable, and I had to admit, I run around with your camera. That's right. Did you know there's another anniversary today? Today's May the 31st. Tomorrow's the first day of June. There's another anniversary. 100 years ago today, the British Royal Navy encountered the German Navy of Kaiser Wilhelm at the Battle of Jutland. The Germans had intended to destroy the British Navy. At least that was their goal. The British Royal Navy sailed with a fleet 50% larger than the German fleet, but they suffered heavy losses and lost more than 6,000 sailors in one day, in one battle, the Battle of Jutland. Now, the Germans retreated. That was the last great naval battle between battleships, gunboats, because soon after that, the aircraft carrier came online with torpedo planes and that sort of thing. But that was a heavy loss for the Brits. Anyway, that's your historic military note on this 31st of May. How about them apples?
I could take that. I could take that. Here's what I want to talk about. And we can't solve this in a day, but coming out of Memorial Day, FetcherNews.com, we attended 4 graduations. Eventually, we'll get up to all 10 of the counties we're covering, but this year we added a county. We were able to attend 4 graduations and document them for the children. And it's an exciting time. I love to watch the high school kids graduate. Now, why do I think of things like this? But this is the way I think of things. I watched 273 kids down here Saturday morning at Pickens High School, 143 in Union County Friday night. Week before that, 190 some in Fannin County and 200 and some in Gilmer. Watched almost 1,000 kids graduate in North Georgia. And as they crossed the stage and got their diploma, I thought, let's say most of them are 18 for argument's sake.
That's a good average.
Do you realize these kids were 10 years old? 10 years old when Obama took office.
That's shocking.
Now, why do I think this? Because here's the thing that bothers me. Is I watch these kids and I was thinking about their future, because that's what they're doing. They're coming out there. Their future to them is 2 hours later, wherever their graduation party is. But I'm thinking about their future in a nutshell. I'm thinking these kids have been indoctrinated since they were 10 years old. These graduates I watched in North Georgia. And they have to be in a generation that the President of the United States goes to Hiroshima and apologizes for them, the veterans yesterday, I looked around yesterday, for defending us from their attack. That's what these kids have as president. Now, 1984, I wasn't 10 years old, but I look at, on June 6, 1984, the 40th anniversary of D-Day, somebody like Ronald Reagan standing there on the shores.
At Normandy.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I just am so concerned with the future of this country. Great kids, though. These are great. I'm watching great kids, and I'm thinking, you know what? They were 10. We let this happen to them.
Well, we, meaning you and I,
just in general. I mean,
we can only do what we can do to stem the tide, and the tide of progressivism has swept America when we weren't watching. The Democrat Party was taken over by the old CPUSA, the socialists, and now they are an opposing force to everything that American democracy represents. And we see it all the time. They constantly promote programs that capture the control of the minds and hearts of children. The last 8 years were particularly odious in that regard. And we understand, we hear good programs, what appear to be good programs like the education program, that everybody's for, everybody's against, that sets national standards. We don't need national standards for education. Our children need to learn reading, writing, and arithmetic, and they need to learn American history, the Constitution, ethics. We have dropped ethics and humanities where at least civilization was taught and civilizing methods of people were taught. Now our streets are awash with thugs and gangs and Black Lives Matter and my goodness, I mean we're in a terrible, terrible period of time. Not necessarily because those things are out there, but necessarily because there's so much TV filming these things, watching these things, so many people commenting on these things and commenting unfavorably on Americanism and more favorably on anti-Americanism. And that's the point we've got to get through.
Now, the other side of this graduating class.
That's the teachers?
No.
Oh.
To me, I can't just go watch them and go home. I've got to
Talk to them?
I've got to think it all out. The other side of this graduating class I was looking at is not only are they the ones that, were 10 years old when this guy became president. The fortunate thing for this class and the optimism that I have is this is actually the class that could get a job. If Trump becomes president and the economy booms as he says he's going to bring the jobs back, and if we really create real jobs, this could be the generation that gets a job. Now you think about the kids that were actually 18 when he became president. They're the ones that are sitting on doctorate degrees and master's degrees and 2 degrees, and they double majored and everything like that. They can't get a job. I have a friend now, his dad's, he's a doctor, and him and his wife, his son, is a PhD, could not find appropriate work that went with a PhD that he graduated from.
He could be an Uber driver.
But you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If they were 18, 8 years, they're the ones that got sold on Obama.
Yeah.
Can't get a job. The kids that walked across the stage, they may be the ones to get a job.
Well, at least they've seen had the opportunity
Do you
to see what
understand
the
what I'm
Obama administration has done. Yeah,
George,
I got that.
if you're not aware of it, do you realize they shot a gorilla?
Because they murdered the gorilla.
Murdered him.
That's what I saw in the headlines. The murdered gorilla. He was just trying to save that infant. Well, maybe so, maybe no. But now we at least know that infant is alive. Why was he swimming in the pool? The parents saw that baby in there?
Huh?
Why was that baby in that gorilla cage? Did the parents drop him into the pool? You don't know? You asked me a question, and now you're typing away on your key. I hear the plastic.
Well, it made me think of something which I thought of earlier, but
Do you think?
wait a minute. They shot a gorilla. Okay, they shot a gorilla. Okay. This is Tuesday, May 31st, Memorial Day weekend. I seen this story and I wanted to bring it back up. Memorial Day weekend shootings leave 4 dead and at least 49 wounded. At least 13 people were wounded Sunday afternoon and early Monday morning on the south and west sides as the toll from gun violence in Chicago over Memorial Day weekend. But we're concerned because a gorilla got shot.
Yeah, and that's not gun violence. That's crime violence.
Right.
It's a cultural thing.
This is not top story. I mean, it didn't matter what news network you turned on at 6 this morning or 7. What was the first thing you see? A gorilla, right? Kid film.
Yeah.
Right? But no, did you hear any of them talk about 4 dead, 49 wounded over the weekend in Chicago?
No, not a word.
Not a word.
Not a word. Because that happens every weekend.
Because
That's
it's the
unusual.
Huh?
That's not unusual. That's Memorial Day. Memorial Day is just another weekend. It gives them one extra day to up the score. That's all.
one extra day.
That's it.
It's like a bonus day
Yeah.
in the world of. But the value of life versus gorillas.
Well, there is no value of life. Our schools do not teach ethics or humanities anymore. They teach multiculturalism. White guilt. White privilege.
What do you got?
They're ruining everything that America stood for or was built on.
What do you got on tap there, George?
Well, Crystal of the Weekly Standard, Bill Crystal, he's...
Hey, where's the independent? Is he out yet? Have you seen the independent candidate yet?
This guy, I'm writing a short take on it. I got probably another paragraph to go to finish it up. It's all Bill Crystal. I mean, it's like he's a little conservative brain who suddenly gets electric shock because something happens he doesn't want to happen. Trump happened, and he doesn't want that to happen. And he's flailing around trying to figure out, because he knows better than anybody else, that this will not work. Trump was a loose cannonball rolling around on the deck of a ship, and he needs to be the brass monkey to stop that cannonball from rolling, and it ain't working. And he talks about an independent candidate. Go through the list of possible independent candidates. There's only one who was fit to build, and that would be Ted Cruz.
Didn't he make a comment that there will be an independent?
Serious independent presidential bid, is what he said.
Right, a serious independent bid, and that is what we.
Now there is already a third party out there,
Yes, I understand.
the Libertarians. So what he's trying to propose is a fourth party. For the Republicans, a second party. He's going to try to bifurcate the Republic. It's not going to happen. The people have already voted against the GOP establishment, and he is the titular leader of the cheerleading squad for the GOP establishment. It's not going to work. It's going to be a disaster.
I have a question.
We can only hope they'll finally indict Hillary and get her off the stage.
Wait a minute. Why do you think Schiff, okay, Congressman Schiff out there in California. In fact, Bernie is starting to narrow the gap in California enough to where Hillary's not taking a chance. She's headed back out to California
She's out there right now this minute.
Right now. But let me ask you a question. Talking about the Inspector General's damning report of Hillary Clinton's handling of email. Why do you think the Democrat talking point is Colin Powell did it too?
Well, they're trying to make it stick, but it won't stick because...
Why Colin Powell?
Well, because he's black and he's a Republican.
I think you're wrong on one account.
Because he's a Republican?
No, he's black.
Yeah, well...
I think he's black. I
He's
think
the first
he's not a
one.
Republican.
And he was the first one at a high office.
I think the Colin Powell. I think Colin Powell will come to Hillary's defense. I think he'll come out with a statement that there's
He hasn't
absolutely,
yet. He hasn't yet. And he would be silly. I disagree with you. He won't do it because the evidence is so overwhelming about her criminality. You know, this is just not mishandling documents.
I agree with you.
This is
I agree with
absolutely
you.
a crime
Chris Wallace.
of the highest nature. It is a crime to do what
Chris
she
Wallace did one of the best. You can like him. You could dislike him 3 weeks ago. You could dislike him a year ago. You can bring up every single interview that you seen Chris Wallace
Sunday
do
interview.
that you did not like. But Chris Wallace did one of the best modern day interviews that I've seen in a long time this past Sunday. During a Fox News Sunday interview about the Office of Inspector General's report on Hillary Clinton handling of emails, Democrat Representative Adam Schiff repeatedly brought up Secretary of State Colin Powell irritating Fox host Chris Wallace, who called the California congressman's argument a red herring. What we do know from the OIG report is that there were a couple of attempts to hack the system that were unsuccessful, Schiff said. So we don't know if there's any evidence of successful breach, but I do want to get back to the point that I wanted to finish, and that's Senator Lankford's mentioning, and that is the comparison to Secretary Powell is. Now, I'm going to tell you that aggravated Chris Wallace so bad. That was a great interview. I watched it twice.
Yeah, I watched it, yeah.
But my concern on keep an eye on why the Colin Powell defense and why the talking points. Colin Powell was the quintessential black Republican that at one time we were all ready to crown him the nominee. We were thinking, wow, this should be our nominee. And then all of a sudden, this is the guy that came out and endorsed Barack Obama twice. Colin Powell has endorsed him twice under the umbrella of being a Republican. I just think there's a door open for this guy to make a statement on the Secretary of State. And if he comes out and he's black Secretary of State and he says this is the way it works, well, how could we question that?
Who will he be talking to? He will not be talking to me or us out here at Flyover Land. He will be talking to the DC insiders, and that's a lost cause.
Is it?
Yes, it is. It is. The DC insiders have been repudiated. They're not calling the shots anymore.
Something has happened. She may not become president, but something has happened that is, do you think there's still a chance that this woman's going to get prosecuted?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. In fact, I will even take a break on that, yes. We're going to take a brief break. We'll come back. I'm your host, BKP. I'm here with George this morning. Good morning from the office. We'll come back. We got a lot more on the plate to start the week out, even though it's Tuesday. Back after these messages.
Truck Month is back at your new Days Chevrolet in Jasper with savings up to $8,000 off MSRP. Right now, get a roomy new Chevy Equinox for just $23,200, or get Days max discount on a new Silverado Crew Cab, just $31,900, plus instant easy credit with Days Fast Track Credit Center. But these Truck Month savings won't last long. Get to Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where Chevy cars and trucks cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
El Rey and Ellijay.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated, and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey and Ellijay.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
I'm Sheriff Dane Kirby, and I'll stand up for you.
I'm Stacy Nicholson, Sheriff of Gilmer County, and I will stand up for you.
Stand up and speak out. No matter how rich, cool, talented you believe yourself to be, how you treat people ultimately tells all. I am Allison Sosby, District Attorney, and I'll stand up for you.
Only Pizza Hut delivers 2 medium pizzas any way you want for just $6.99 each. Get any 2 freshly made pizzas with high quality, fresh ingredients and sauce made with California vine ripened tomatoes. Now get your favorite specialty recipes like meat lovers, backyard barbecue chicken, or 5-pepper pepperoni. So you never have to compromise with any quality toppings, any crust, any specialty. Anything you want on any 2 medium pizzas, just $6.99 each. Only at Pizza Hut.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Ella next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Ella next to Walmart.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Switch and save at Schottenkirk Ford. Find quality pre-owned trucks under $20,000 and not just Fords. We have all the best makes and models. Shop the best selection of certified pre-owned Fords in the area. Switch today and shop our network of over 500 pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. We'll even deliver it to you. Plus, every vehicle sold comes with Schottenkirk Customer Care, which offers you extra protection for no extra charge. Make the switch to Schottenkirk Ford in Jasper. Online at SchottenkirkFordJasper.com.
And we're back. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. I'm your host, BKP. I'm here with George. George, Hillary's headed back to California. The comfort zone of feeling California was in the bag, and she left Jersey. She went coast to coast. Hillary's gone coast to coast this morning.
Panic in the ranks. Panic in the ranks. The Democrats are panic, and the nice thing about it is it is fun to watch Bernie Sanders take apart the Democratic Party. It's just and cause them so much grief and heartburn. I love it.
Well, Philadelphia will be quite the show. If she does not take all the delegates out of California and leave with them, we heard, I did the list the other day, the video, we heard Romney, Cruz, Kasich, Rubio. We've seen the list on and on and on. Trump will not reach 1,238 delegates to Clinton.
And he only needed 1237.
Right. He will not reach this number. He will not be the nominee. We heard that over and over. So Bernie said, and we heard Ted Cruz say he was going all the way to Cleveland, and they're going all the way to Cleveland. They're always going all the way to Cleveland.
Well, he'll probably be there.
Bernie says he's going to run his campaign all the way to Philadelphia. Do you think a big loss in California will stop Bernie?
No, it's not in his genes to stop. He's having too much fun, and the money keeps rolling in. He's having fun. He's enjoying what he's doing. He thinks he is making an impression that will change the Democratic Party and bring it from the left to the far left.
So are we seeing a dismantling of both actual political parties right here in our lifetime?
Well, certainly a rearranging of the gene pool. Yes, we are. The old mudwumps and the free silver and the free land and free sand and all those, the turkey gobblers, all those parties and ideas, they're gone, and so will the GOP unless it accepts the inevitable. The old people are dying off anyway, or getting voted out. The question now, Trump's got Donald Trump has the delegates. His big problem right now is he's running around and things fall out of his mouth that alarm people, even alarm me sometimes. But the question is, who's going to be his or the party's vice presidential pick? Now, Newt Gingrich surfaces right up there as one of the 10. Newt's a great thinker, but Newt should not be the vice president. He should be, and his best field forever would be as the chief of staff for the Trump presidency. Trump's chief of staff.
Well, your vice president, he gets to show up and have...
at funerals.
Well, yeah, and he gets to show up and have grapefruit in the morning, George. In the morning, they get grapefruit.
Who?
They do, the
Obama
vice
does?
president. Yeah, they have a grapefruit. They have that outdoor breakfast, and the vice president gets to show up, and he has his grapefruit, and the president they have coffee, and they, and they talk about should they make, we shouldn't build the wall, but they're discussing on whether the fence around the White House should be another 7 to 10 feet higher to keep things from coming over the wall. Okay. Anyhow, we do not need, Trump does not need to pick someone that he gains no ground. I've seen an article this morning, and I think it's ridiculous and laughable, and it's one of those where the media has nothing to do. I've seen an article that said Trump needed to pick Gingrich to keep Georgia red. Folks, do I think it's possible, like just a little fraction of possibility that, is it Barksdale? Is that the Democrat candidate for Senate?
Yes.
That he could beat Johnny Isakson? Just a fraction. But Barksdale's problem will be is he will have to run with Hillary Clinton or the Democrat nominee. Look at what happened in Georgia when Michelle Nunn had to finally run with Barack Obama. Michelle Nunn was actually doing well against David Perdue. She was actually doing well. But
that
when...
didn't last long. That was just a fluke. That didn't last long.
No, it wasn't a fluke, George. It was not a fluke. The minute she had to run, Michelle Nunn had the power name. Her dad was out there. And as soon as she had to run with Barack Obama, and if finally the two lines met, when Michelle Nunn was out there running a little bit by herself for a week, it did not look very far off. She was a competitor. But as soon as she ran with Obama, there was no chance at all. No chance whatsoever. So they don't have to pick Newt Gingrich to keep Georgia red.
They do not.
They don't have to.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Precisely correct.
It's not necessary. Trump is going to win Georgia. Done. Finished. So do you pick somebody that brings you a state? What do you think of him going out there? There's been a lot of criticism. I have no problem with this. What do you think of him going out there? Is it Suzanne Martinez? Is she the governor of New Mexico? Is that her name?
Yes. Martinez.
Trump goes into New Mexico and says, hey, where are you at? You should have showed up. You don't show up, we got a problem. I mean, I'm telling you,
Well, that's the very basic nature of politics. He's riding the horse. He's in the saddle riding the horse. Get on or get off. Mitch McConnell.
She didn't show up. She had a scheduling conflict. She didn't show up. And then now everybody's taking him to task because, oh my God, she's a Latino and a woman. No, she's governor. She's governor.
Doesn't bother
Nathan Deal is governor. Chris Christie is governor. Suzanne Martinez is governor of a state. But she's a Latino and a woman. No, she's a governor.
And there might even be a hidden fact about Susana Martinez that is not public notice. She may be an alcoholic as well. That rose in one article I read a week ago after that incident, and that it quickly disappeared. He might know something we don't know.
Well, I know he called her out. He said,
being an alcoholic is not necessarily disqualifying because John Boehner is one. Bonner, the former Speaker of the House. The Congress is full of these people because why? They don't get to ride motorcycles like I do. That's cheaper than going to a psychiatrist. They can't go to a psychiatrist. That's revealing everything. So they hit the bottle. Works every time.
And a carton of cigarettes. That's John Boehner.
Well, he's oh, that's so rare. Not many people smoke anymore.
There was always two members of Congress that visit. That Boehner would never see one member of Congress at one time because one had to bring a bottle and the other a carton of cigarettes to get in. That was the entry fee.
That's like going fishing with two Democrats, right?
Yeah.
He'd take a 6-pack of beer and you can have it all.
I think Trump, Rolling Thunder, veterans. You know, this is a guy that they were talking about last week. They were trying to make a big deal out of Trump and John McCain and the things that Trump said. Well, buddy, Rolling Thunder rolled right in there, and they're behind Trump 100%.
Yep.
He went there this weekend. He addressed them. I told State Senator Josh McCoon earlier on the show. I said, you know what? Donald Trump, either being a billionaire, has done the best job I've ever seen of keeping his finger on the pulse of the everyday person.
Trump knows what's going on.
Somehow he kept his finger on the pulse of what's happening in the flyover states.
He knows what's going on.
He didn't get stuck in the Beltway.
That's it.
Never has been stuck in the Beltway.
Definitely not an insider.
Folks, we're going to take another brief break, so when we get back, we'll have time for George's final thoughts of the day that he's going to share with us and then wrap our show up. Don't forget, we're back. It's Tuesday. We're getting back on track. We're going into the summer here at 10 a.m., North Georgia's only live online morning newscast with Kevin Hensley, the Morning Report. So you stay right with us at 10 o'clock for the Morning Report with Kevin Hensley. We'll be back after these messages. Take us to break, Lonnie.
Truck Month is back at your new Days Chevrolet in Jasper with savings up to $8,000 off MSRP. Right now, get a roomy new Chevy Equinox for just $23,200, or get Days max discount on a new Silverado Crew Cab, just $31,900, plus instant easy credit with Days Fast Track Credit Center. But these Truck Month savings won't last long. Get to Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where Chevy cars and trucks cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
El Rey and Ellijay.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated, and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey and Ellijay.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
I'm Sheriff Dane Kirby, and I'll stand up for you.
I'm Stacy Nicholson, Sheriff of Gilmer County, and I will stand up for you.
Stand up and speak out. No matter how rich, cool, talented you believe yourself to be, how you treat people ultimately tells all. I am Allison Sosby, District Attorney, and I'll stand up for you.
Only Pizza Hut delivers 2 medium pizzas any way you want for just $6.99 each. Get any 2 freshly made pizzas with high quality, fresh ingredients and sauce made with California vine ripened tomatoes. Now get your favorite specialty recipes like meat lovers, backyard barbecue chicken, or 5-pepper pepperoni. So you never have to compromise with any quality toppings, any crust, any specialty. Anything you want on any 2 medium pizzas, just $6.99 each. Only at Pizza Hut.
Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Switch and save at Shattenkirk Ford. Find quality pre-owned trucks under $20,000 and not just Fords. We have all the best makes and models. Shop the best selection of certified pre-owned Fords in the area. Switch today and shop our network of over 500 pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. We'll even deliver it to you. Plus, every vehicle sold comes with Shattenkirk Customer Care, which offers you extra protection for no extra charge. Make the switch to Shattenkirk Ford in Jasper. Online at ShattenkirkFordJasper.com.
BKP, good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Now, if you would like to send us any messages, don't forget our number is 706-889-9700. Send me an email, chief@fetchernews.com. If you would like to get involved with FYN TV or fetchernews.com, we are always looking for people to get involved with our news network, so don't hesitate to send us a message, chief@fetchernews.com. or 706-889-9700. Also want to let you know, I've had 3 or 4 meetings. We're planning some independent shows, some shows that we will be running on FYN TV. Working on 3 or 4 independent shows that will be running on FYN TV from some other very opinionated people. So we're working on, yeah, there's others out there.
Others, opinionated.
Uh-huh.
Cruel. You cut a cruel.
That's called they have their own opinion, and I'm not involved. Whatever they say, they say. But anyhow, we're working on some independent shows to air on FYN TV, so we got some big things going on. We got some more announcements. If you'd like to be a part of FYN TV as far as a sponsor or run your commercial or get your ad on FetcherNews.com, get in touch with us, chief@FetcherNews.com, 706-889-9700. George, at this time, I'd like to leave plenty of space for final thoughts, and then that way we have enough time at the end of the show if there's a couple other things we want to say. So what do you have to share with us this morning?
Well, it's an examination into the diagnosing of illnesses, and I don't mean people's illnesses, but I call this essay was called Diagnosing an Illness. Some well-meaning blog writers on conservative subjects apparently fail to grasp the true nature of America's eclipse or its demise. They have bought into the left's message that a good life through government assistance is possible. They compare the changes America is now experiencing to an aging process that folks encounter as they grow older, rather than the deliberate plan of a cynical wholesale change that it really is. While diseases and illnesses eventually come to the human body over time and always followed by death, it should not be extrapolated that a great prosperous nation like America, displaying the symptoms of old age as humans do, is in effect near the end of its life term. America should last for the millennium as the one and only beacon of freedom to the world. It would if its enemies had not been allowed to penetrate its constitutional barriers and spread their cancerous disease as we now see happening. Less than 240 years since our founding, America has become ill, not because of old age, but because we've been told to abandon God, accept secular atheism, place our personal self-defense in government hands, and trust our elected politicians to see to our wants and needs. In short, America has been injected with the cancer of socialism, to be followed soon by the disease of Islamic jihadism and fascism, and then the disease of abject apathy that will follow. Do we even stand a chance? As we grow older, individually, groups like the AARP start filling our mailboxes and email sites with a constant drumbeat reminding us that we're aging. They tell us we're getting old, that we need care and attention so that we can blissfully enter our golden years without worry to ourselves or our families. No, yes, for only a few dollars a month, they are prepared to help us achieve this personal nirvana. They tell us in soft, pleasant tones, you worked hard all your life and deserve to be helped in your old age, comfortably surrounded by friends and family, and et cetera, et cetera. The progressive socialists have constantly told us the same message about our nation, in need of remedial social changes that only they can bring if we would only abandon our backward beliefs in the greatness of God, the greatness of America, and reevaluate our moral standards that inhibit American deviates from living their lives without fear of consequence. The progressive socialists, the Democrats now, don't talk about America the way we do. Instead, they tell us that America is sick and can only be fixed with increased spending, more inclusiveness, less racism, free education, free food, free rent, job-killing minimum wages, free birth control, and even more unaffordable free education for all, especially to include illegal migrants. Our youth are now being taught that white European Americans are to blame for the world's problems, and to see the progress of European culture as crimes against humanity that have adversely affected life's bottom feeders, liking them to life's lottery losers who need to be protected from silly notions such as self-reliance, personal independence, and faith in God. Our illness is easily diagnosed. It's the malaise created by the corrupt political establishment in both parties. We have said quietly while the political tools of greed and avarice have destroyed our nation. Trump has simply brought up a tremendous reality check. He has brought us our first glimpse of hope of political redemption. That's my thought.
You know, George, I think about this morning, Memorial Day, and I am so thankful that I was raised in such a family, that it was important to show respect, honor, and understand my freedom. You know, I come here every morning and I'm free to do this. I have my freedom. And without a veteran that gave the sacrifice, going back all the way to the Revolutionary War, in the beginning of the founding of this country, I don't get to do this. But the one thing is we go to these memorial. I said this last week, and I don't know if many of you caught what I said. But we go to these Memorial Day events, and we see the veterans that are still living. So in our mind, we see these veterans, we see them still living, we see them with gray hair, and we see them older, and we see them with jackets with patches on them, and some of them with canes, and so on and so forth. So we picture the fallen as these middle-aged or older veterans. But the reality is the majority of all of them were kids. You go back to World War II, the Civil War, Revolutionary War, War of 1812. Just the list goes on. Vietnam, Korea, regardless. World War I. I don't want to leave any out. But the men and women that gave their life were kids. You say, well, some of them were older. Well, I have to tell you, getting to the point that if they were 35, they were still kids. But the majority of the graves you see of the veterans were kids. Now, it's about time where men and women my age act like adults and not take for granted anymore what those kids died for. And it's time to defend this country in a whole different way internally than to be as concerned about the external attack, which I am concerned. But it's time for you and I to quit just using the verbiage that we're doing this for our children and our grandchildren and actually do it. That's what it's time for. Because we're losing this country internally. Now, that being said, we're looking at a state that in order to get a Super Bowl gave hundreds of millions of dollars away. Spent the real transaction was when government leaders agreed to dedicate hundreds of millions of dollars in hotel motel tax to build a $1.4 billion Mercedes-Benz stadium. Folks, it's just a game. I mean, we are building $1.4 billion stadiums. It's just a game. It's just played with 9 innings, man. It's just played. Kids used to gather up around the polo fields out there and watch around the fence. Just a game. It's just a game, folks. But no, we have decided to let certain games and certain businesses dictate our moral fiber in this country. It's just a game. I want to say a couple things because we got to get to work. Campaign finance. We got to talk about that in the next couple of weeks. We have to get to work on that. But you know, I said earlier, it's 9:50, it's Tuesday. We have our friend Oscar Poole coming up here in just a couple minutes. Then we have the morning report. Folks, how many died over the weekend from criminals
using guns?
Criminals using guns. I want to make sure it's not a statistic of gun violence, because gun violence needs to be
properly discussed.
As
many people are killed or more with baseball bats and hammers, household hammers.
Criminal gun violence, but we don't talk about that. We're talking about a guerrilla. Folks, all these witnesses that said the guerrilla was taking care of the kid, let's defer to the professionals. Let's defer to the professionals. Just because you bought a ticket to the zoo to go see gorillas this weekend does not make you a professional because you're holding a ticket to the zoo. Let's defer to the professionals. We're going to try to start. This is our every time we take a long weekend, we try to come back and start something new. So our thing to start something new is we're going to try to start getting the morning report going at 10 o'clock like we promised our viewers, so they can grow it into a solid hour. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have our friend Oscar Poole, and we have our friend Oscar Poole on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then we will have some brief messages, and then it'll be time for the morning report, North Georgia's only live online morning newscast with Kevin Hensley. That's it, George. That's it. We're out. We have to have room for our
Oscar.
friend.
Yeah, dear Oscar.
By the time we do that,
I want to thank you for permitting me to have some time with Oscar last week. That was he sat here in his big bird suit and his hat, looking resplendent. It was clean. I saw he changed suits because the gravy stain was gone. That was on one of them. And well, what a inspiration does Oscar pull?
Oscar's a joy.
Absolutely a joy.
Just
Thank you
to
very
sit
much.
next to him, right?
Yep.
It is. Hey, I'm your host, BKP. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 a.m. Don't miss us. Tell your friends. Go to fetchernews.com. Click on FYN TV Live every morning, 8 a.m. Lonnie, take us out of here.